Hey everybody, why don't you start off in child's pose if you're at home? All right, we have 3 people standing. Go ahead and move into some moonflowers. If you're on the ground, go ahead and move into some cat and cow. Some spinal balance. Remember, inhaling up, exhaling down, switching, inhaling up, exhaling down. And on your next exhale, coming back down to all fours, lifting up your hips, walking your feet up towards your hands. I'll meet you in mountain pose. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling monkey. Exhaling all the way down through plank and crocodile. Inhaling upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stepping forward with your right foot for warrior one. And then exhaling all the way back down through your plank and crocodile. Inhaling upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling, stepping your left leg forward for warrior one. Exhaling all the way back down, crocodile. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling, down dog. And then walking or jumping, your feet up towards your hands for monkey. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, arms up. And exhaling, back to mountain. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling to monkey. Exhaling, down into plank and crocodile. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling your right leg forward for warrior one. Exhaling all the way back down, plank and crocodile. Inhaling upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling left leg forward for warrior one. Exhaling all the way back down through the crocodile. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, downward dog. And then walking or jumping your feet up towards your hands to monkey. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, arms up. And exhaling down to monkey. Someone open the door, please. All right, second mountain. Okay, we're going to start with lateral flexion, but before we get into our lateral flexion, let's make sure our mountain is grounded. Four corners of our feet gripping the mat. Quads are engaged, core is engaged, both front and back, arms reaching down. And then on an inhale, go ahead and lift your right arm up to the sky. Be pushing down through your right leg and up through your right arm. Your left arm should also be reaching down. You have a lot of dynamic tension here. And release. Refocus the mountain, feet, quads, core, hands, and then lift up your other arm. So for this one, you should be pressing down through your left foot and up through your left arm. Dynamic tension in that arm. And release. Next, chest expansion. Interlace your fingers behind your back, straighten your elbows. You can also try lifting up your hands. If you want to incorporate a forward fold, make sure you have a little micro bend in that knee, And then hinge at the hips. And release. All right, we're going to do some kneeling side plank and side plank. We're going to do some half series to get us in and out of them. So inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling to monkey. Now the half series. Heading down into plank and crocodile. Upward dog. And downward dog. That's the half series. All right, next we're going to do kneeling side plank. So go up into a plank, and then let's first bring our left knee down to the mat. Swing it over for the kickstand. Now before doing the side plank, make sure that your hand, knee, and foot are all in one straight line. And then go ahead and do your plank, reaching fingertip to fingertip, trying to make sure you have stacked vertically. Wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist, all in one straight line. All right, release. Back to plank. Once you're in your plank, we'll now start the other side by bringing our right knee down to the mat. Swinging over to create your kickstand. You want your hand, knee, ankle all in one straight line. When you have that, just go ahead and do your plank, trying to stack vertically. Wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Okay, release. Back to plank. Now we're going to do another half series. Half series goes plank, crocodile, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now go ahead into child's pose. Let's rest our arms for just a couple seconds before our next set of side plank. All right, coming back into plank. Now you have a choice here. You can either do side plank or a second set of kneeling side plank. Your choice, but we're gonna go towards the east wall first. So I'm gonna go up into a plank, and instead of doing kneeling side plank, I'm just gonna turn onto my side here and get everything stacked for side plank. And release. Back to plank. And now for the other side. So I'm going to turn on to the right side of my feet. And release. Back to plank. Now one more half series. So plank, crocodile, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And then walk or jump your feet up towards your hands into a forward fold. And I will meet you in mountain. All right, you can do whatever balancing pose you want to today. You want to do tree, you can do tree. You want to do crow, eagle, do eagle. I am going to do standing balance pigeon if you'd like to join me for standing balance pigeon. So for standing balance pigeon, we start off in a chair pose. And let's start with our right leg. So we're going to get all of our balance onto the right side of our body. And once it's there, go ahead and bring your knee or your leg up onto your knee. This ankle that's on your knee should be pointing towards that wall. Hands to heart center. 6 deep, deep breaths here. And release. All right, for the other side, sink back into your chair. Now I'm adjusting all my weight to the left side of my body, bringing my right leg onto my knee. This right leg is pointing towards that wall. Hands to heart center. 6 deep breaths. And release. More chair next time. All right, third mountain. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling up to monkey. Exhaling, plank, crocodile. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And then go ahead and find yourself in child's pose. One of our foundation poses that we use to get in and out of Mountain 3 poses. All right, so we're going to do a series of back bends now, and we use child pose to counteract the back bend. First one's locust pose. Go ahead and start on our belly. And then on an inhale, you're going to lift up your arms and your legs at the same time. And you're also doing the back bend, but the back bend is leading from the chest. Don't lift your neck up, keep your neck neutral, but you're creating a back bend from your chest. On your next inhale, maybe coming up a little bit more, engaging those core muscles. And release back to child's pose. Counteract. Okay, back onto our belly. Next is bow pose. For bow pose, you can either spend the entire 10 breaths holding on to both ankles, or you could spend like 5 breaths on one ankle, 5 breaths on the other ankle. It's your choice. If you choose to do the one at a time, about halfway through, I'll tell you to switch. After you're holding onto your feet from the outsides, you kick out your legs. You should feel your thighs coming up off the ground. And the dynamic tension is like it's coming half from your feet, half from your arms. Switch if you're going onesies. Next inhale, maybe kick a little bit more. All right, excellent. Release. Back to child's pose. All right, coming up onto our knees for camel pose. During camel pose, remember that you'd like your hips to be located over your knees even during the back bend. Start with your hands on your hips, and on an inhale, extend up. On an exhale, go ahead and start your back bend. This back bend is leading from the chest, not from the neck. Your hands can either stay on your hips, maybe they fall to your ankles. Everyone's a little bit different. Your next inhale, stretch a little bit more up. And then exhale a little bit more into that back bend. And release all the way back down, and we counter every back bend with child's pose. All right, coming back onto all fours, and just sitting down and letting your legs swing around to get us into staff pose. Staff pose. Feet are engaged and flexed and pointing at the ceiling. Quad muscles are engaged. Your core muscles engaged, which means you're sitting up straight, and then your hands are here to support all of that together. Our first pose will be cradle the baby. Keeping this leg extended and flexed, you're going to bring up your other leg. You're going to put one foot in the nook of your elbow, your knee in the other elbow. And then while you're holding on to the baby, you want to sit up straight. And if you can hold on to your baby and sit up straight, awesome. If you're like me and holding on to the baby causes you to hunch over a little bit, maybe you want to hold a little less of the leg so that you can sit up straight. Your choice. If you can't do both, you can cradle the baby, sit up straight, but maybe you can't do both, and that's okay. Release. Now, keeping this new leg engaged, the new extended leg fully engaged, bring up your other foot. One foot in the elbow, other elbow holds the knee. If you're unable to sit up straight, maybe you want to hold a little bit less so that you can sit up straight. All right, release, back to staff pose. Next is butterfly. Bring your feet together for this one. Hands on the ankles. Sitting up straight. Using your muscles to try to force your thighs flat on the ground. And if you are able to achieve that, maybe you'd also like to add a forward fold into it. So on an inhale, you would extend up. On the exhale, you would hinge at the hips. Coming as far forward as you could while keeping that spine neutral. And release back to staff pose. Next, boat pose. Start off by bringing our feet up like this. Our upper body, you want to have this start leaning back and have your spine be completely neutral. Use your arms as your counterbalance, and then you start to lift your feet up off the ground. Maybe your feet end up here. Maybe your feet end up here. Maybe you're able to get your feet straight. Everyone's a little bit different. But work on having a straight back for this one, neutral spine. And release, back to staff pose. Next, a seated spinal twist. Keeping this right leg engaged, you're gonna bring the left leg up. You can either leave the left leg here or you can bring it over. And on an inhale, you extend up. Exhale, spinal twist towards the west wall. Excellent adjustments, everybody. And release back to staff pose. And now keeping our left leg engaged, we'll bring up our right leg. You can either leave the right leg here or you can bring it to the other side. And inhale, lift up the left arm. Exhale, do your spinal twist. And release. And we're going to finish this off now with a little knees to chest. So go ahead and onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. This is our final pose of the day. So if you have any remaining stress, squeeze those knees in tight. And see if you can squeeze any of that remaining stress out. Once you're done, go ahead, release your knees, extending your legs, letting your feet droop to the side, arms coming to rest on your side on the mat. And for the next couple minutes, as you find yourself in final relaxation, the goal is absolute stillness of both the body and the mind. Final relaxation. Booyah.